Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 144 of DevChatter. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Hello, greetings. If you're just coming in, we are going to get started coding here in a little bit. I want to do a small bit of an intro because we missed a couple of streams there. As many of you know, we had a nice holiday here in the United States. It was our Thanksgiving last week, so I missed some streams because of that. But I am back. Welcome. Still alive. Did not die. And we are going to be doing a little bit of coding today. Oh man. Stool Pinner, thank you very much for the 4 months in a row of Twitch Prime. Greatly appreciated. Choo choo, alright. We got the sub train going apparently. You know, 4 months, that is not a new state on the dinosaur. You are still a hatching egg. And welcome everyone. Glad to see you're all here. Hey, look, it really is a sub-train. And Mike, you have hatched out of your egg. That is awesome. Woohoo! Welcome. Hello, everyone. Glad to see a bunch of people showing up today. Let's get some hype in the chat down there. And actually, I realize I can put hype on that screen over there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. So a couple of things I wanted to do today. I want us to get to the point where we can, and I don't know whether or not we're going to get there today. This could be a tall order, especially since we're jumping back into the project. I have not done that much without you guys. So welcome everyone. We are going to try and get this game to the point where we can leave it running and just have this be a part of the stream. So it'll just sit there, and then we can go code on some other things, and we don't have to focus on that. Then I want to get us back to our some of our other side projects that we've been doing that we haven't really touched in a while. So I want to go work on those again and see what kind of progress we can make on it. So hence I want to get the game to a good state, a nice stable spot where we can have it running, have it be a part of the channel where it's just something that plays while we're playing. I should say while we're coding, and the game is there so that people can play it as they like. And yeah, so in order to make that happen, I need the game to start doing things, like to have things happen. So right now, anyone can just type in this command, the wstart command. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. We can do the wstart command, and it brings up the game. Now, normally this will appear as part of the overlay on the stream, and it'll show up on the bottom. Once it's here, you can use various commands like, you know, move up to, and he'll go up and pick that up. But just for making it a little faster and easier, I'll just type this. So I can go here. I can wait. This zombie's going to try to get to me. He's going to die in that fire. And so will that one. And I can go ahead and escape. And so now the game says, hey, I escaped on level 1 while holding an axe and 0 coins. Hooray. I got out. That's awesome. Now what I want to do is I want to change the requirements for being able to start a game so that we don't have the game just playing all the time. So step 1 is I want to add a cooldown to the game. So let's go ahead and do that. So in order to add a cooldown, the first thing I want to do is go into our commands, and we have our start command right here. So inside the start command, we are a base command. I want to see what this comes with for now. The base command, this has a cooldown value that is set to a time span of 0. Okay. So for now, without assigning any settings, values, or anything like that, the short answer I can do for this command is to just set its cooldown to the value that I want it to be. Command cooldown tracker checks to see if the cooldown is greater than the elapsed time, adds a cooldown as required by that. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. First off, there's going to be a cooldown that does not let anybody start a new game for a minute, regardless of whether or not a game is going. So if we... Let me take a look again at the base command. The base command has public time span cooldown, that value, and it is just this. Does anything ever set this value? Now the reason I'm wondering, so here's what I'm thinking. I want to make this potentially calculated so that over here the cooldown value can be based on some other value. I guess the short answer for now, we'll just set it. So we'll say cooldown. Oh, that's not gonna work. Hang on. Protected. So that was set equal to... Okay, so in refresh command data, we grab the command entity off the command policy for this one, insert it in with the command cooldown. All right, I forgot about that. Okay, so in that case, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open this up, we're gonna go over to the database, and can I set that value in the project? Do we actually have that as part of the editable? Is enabled wasteful start command, edit. No. We should add that value. Okay, well, there's what we're going to change. Yes, it is dangerous to code alone. That's why I have all of you here to help me. It is definitely dangerous to code alone. Edits.cshtml inside of commands manage. So I want to hop into this file. And in addition, I want to open up the associated model. And I want to take a look. This is still using the app data context. Does that mean this is just a standard one? Index, edit, details. No, okay, so these have been changed. Razorak1234. It is a technology company primarily focused on developer training, but does some other stuff as well. You can find information at deviq.com. So... Alright, so inside of details, it has command word is enabled, but we want cooldown as well, because I know we have a cooldown. 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 So display name for and display for cooldown, so that's going to show this text and that value. When we do that. Down here, have an edit and an index. On the index, I think we should be displaying that also. So let's do this. We're going to duplicate that row there and say cooldown. And then in this one, we're going to duplicate this row and display the cooldown. Now, these values aren't going to display all that well because we're just putting in a literal time span as a string. That's probably not going to be the format we want, but we'll see what it does. Maybe it'll get closer than we think. And then in the edit CSHTML, I want to add this as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to duplicate this one because the checkbox is weird. The cooldown will be better off shown in an input than in a checkbox, obviously. So let's see what it gives us by default when we do that. So if we refresh this page, since all we were doing was changing CSHTML files, the nice thing is the Razor view actually gets compiled at runtime. So in theory, it should be doing that right now. There we go. There's the cooldown. Is there a time span input? Time? We don't really want time necessarily. Yeah, there's not, because there's date, but that's not really what we want either. So anyway, we'll do this. So we'll make that a 2-minute cooldown. Save that. And over on this page, you'll see it compiled this Razor page also. So it automatically got this. We didn't have to do anything special. This is over here. The other thing I want you to notice, check out what happened in the chat over there. The bot actually said hello. And that's because we changed the CSHTML files, which causes the application not to do a full restart, but there's like a middle ground in there. So our background process restarted. So there's a little bit of weirdness with that. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing with this project, so right now I run everything on my computer, and I'm thinking about moving all of this out onto the web and having this actually be a cloud-based project, which will mean it's harder for other people to run it. I haven't decided yet whether I want to tie it to a cloud or to Docker this thing. Right now our code does run in Docker and could run just fine, but I'm thinking about doing like a full move so we can host this somewhere. We'll see what we do with that eventually. The reason why is I want more people to be able to use this bot, and I think an easier way for that is to let them just be a user that configures it instead of having everyone install their own instance of it. But I don't know on that one. We'll see. Either way, it's a good amount of complexity that we'll want to figure out. Okay. So we now have a cooldown on starting the game. Now remember, cooldowns do not apply to the moderators in the channel, nor do they apply to me, so that won't be affected by it. I want to open up GitHub Desktop and take a look at what we were doing here. I want to undo that change, and I want to undo that. I'll keep that change. But we'll do it separately. Okay, so right here we are adding cooldown. Display cooldown for managing commands. There we go. Twitchloff. Yes, exactly. Yep, that would be the idea, Twitchloff. Put some of it in the cloud in potentially multiple forms. I don't know. So the part of the reason being we can have better background processes and do more interesting things with it if we put the app in the cloud. There's some stuff we can do. So we'll have to decide on that one. I will discard that. Okay. Let's see. Don't need to manage that. Okay. And yeah, I incognito window all the time, Razorak. It's just sort of it's a little bit of a habit. I like to, make sure that, I don't know, I don't like going to random websites on the internet, even if they are just like tech sites, because I don't want to bring any of, my accounts or anything like that. So for security reasons, I usually bring, usually use an incognito window. It's a little nicer. Okay, so survivor repo game repo, so we grab that. We get the survivor. We do a inventory item select. Held DTO item. Okay, so we're converting. We're converting those from these. then that gets us the DTO that we send down, and then we start the game. Hey, Problems, welcome. Greetings, greetings. Glad to see you're back. Okay. So that'll get the game started. Did I close that window? I closed that window. Oh, no, I didn't. It's right there. Okay. So that starts up the game, and we come in with our weapons. Let me take a look, because I don't remember exactly where we left off. I want to see what we did with our game end data. So when you escape, what is in here? What did we bring? We said escaped, but we didn't say how. Lurker is not available, and Wookie Nookie, welcome. Thanks for those follows. Greatly appreciated. If anybody else is in here and is enjoying the stream at all, make sure you click that follow button to get notified when we go live in the future. Okay, so escaped, died, so we keep track of that. Ooh, maybe we should track the player location. The player location might be a good idea. So we know where you are, because there might be things other than escaping that can get you that value. So we escape into the house sometimes, and then other times we might want to go somewhere else. So let's track survivor location. Since you can only be in one place at a time, maybe that goes on the survivor object himself. Janisku, you are you're halfway to that 50 follower target. The 50 follower target actually takes a while to get to at first. It did take me a while to get there when I first started streaming. It is a good one. I like that they do it. Okay, so here is the survivor list. So this is everybody who is currently in the game. Some people are on teams. Just so you know, in our game you can join a team. If you are so inclined, we have 3 teams to choose from. I think we need a location. And when you die, you're going to go to the default location. When you escape on the helicopter, you'll stay in the wasteland. And you can potentially be in the house. So let's go ahead and do that. So I don't know if I want to do lookup tables. I don't always like them. They're convenient sometimes to have in the database, but I'm not super keen on them. But let's do it anyway. Wasteful hub. So we're going to hop over here. I want to roughly get into this code, and let's add on our model object. Because locations are going to have data. Locations are going to have a palette or some other data. Team 2 for life. Nice, Loot Pigeon. Nice. Hey, greetings. Problems. This is a roguelike game. It's a zombie survival game, is the concept. I am going to make that table. I have decided. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a class called Location. Let's see. If you ever need pixel art service, Razorak, you can send us a pull request on GitHub if you like. All of our source code here on the stream is actually out on GitHub. It is public. We are in the Rogue branch, is actually what we called it. So you can see the name Benric/Rogue right here. I am probably going to merge this in soon so that you can just pull request a master. But if you send us a pull request of some pixel art, that would be nice. People are welcome to contribute in other ways if you like as well. It's all just source code here. So it doesn't matter if you don't have experience in any kind of game development. At the end of the day, Programming is programming. So I believe in your ability to do it. So location, we're going to give the location a name for now. This is game data. In addition to having a name, location needs to have something else. Something else. No, I'm not coming up with a word for what I want to how I want to call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in here. I want to take a look at our images. So I created our various flooring types, which actually haven't moved yet, I realize, because we have rocky ground tile. Oh, maybe these are associated pieces? We're going to leave it with name for now. It's going to have name only. And I'll just be able to tell them apart. Will be the idea for now. We'll figure that out later. The CD in your laptop is broken. Nice. Let's see. So we have a location that we're going to put on there. Yeah, let's do that. Close this. We're going to come up here. We're going to open up data. We're going to open up our game data context. A location is a full-on thing, I think. So a survivor is in one location at any given time. Yes, Loot Pigeon. Yeah, I want to grab, like, I almost wouldn't want to call it like the tile set that's associated with that place. And then I can have a specific set of tiles that are used for any given location. So a set of obstacles, exactly, it's the tile set for that place. But I will set that up in a second. So thank you for even talking about that, because you led me to use the word I needed, being a tile set. Okay, so this is locations. So we're going to have a table of locations. We can add the column for the tile set information in a little bit. I think what I want to do is I want to have a... define the folder for that tile set, and then I want to put all the tiles on one sheet at one point. We have not switched to using tile sheets yet. We're still using individual files. Once we set up that tile sheet concept, it'll be a little bit more obvious how that's going to work. Okay, so we added locations. Anything weird with locations? Locations have to have a name. Entity, location, property, and it's going to be name is required. Okay, so location has a name, name is required. Done. Go down here, add the new file, add it into the list, and that's a non-change change. Okay, so for this, I want to say add migration test to the context, game data context, and I'm going to pick that as my project. And this is going to make a migration called test. I always call my migration test because I want to be able to throw it away if I need to. Twitchloft, I assume most of the people here are developers, but that is not always the case. I do know that we have some people who are just interested in learning about development here. Whoops, I need to kill the bot. I cannot add a new migration while the bot is running because the bot doesn't let us rebuild. So if you see, we got a build failed right there behind my head. And I will scroll that to the top so you all can see as I do another test here. Let's see, I cannot go on my PC because... sounds good, Razorback. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, not every, as I said, not everybody here is a developer, but a lot of people are. Some people are just interested in development, game development, that sort of thing. Hey, Shockers, welcome. Hype. Wait, what? Did it? Oh, it did the migration. Okay, cool. So up, create table, down, drop table. Looks good. Locations is the name of my table. It has a column ID. It is an integer and looks like it's using an identity column. It is not, neither of these is nullable, and we have a name. So currently we just have location and a name, and we're going to call that enough for now, though we're going to want more information because we are going to want to define a tile set here. And that's going to be big. Sorry, Razorek, I just killed the bot. I'll get you the Discord link in a moment, but you can check down below. I had to kill the bot because it can't be running when I make new database migrations, so I have to turn it off for that. I turn off the bot when I do the migration because it has to rebuild. So that's why you'll see that build failed the first time. That's because the bot was running, and then I closed the bot, and then I'm able to do it. So we are add locations table. There we go. And that should go. Alright, there we go. So add locations table, locations. And down is that. Where did this get added? Right there. Looks perfect. It's inside the migrations on this project. Okay. Oh, yeah, so there should be a panel section on mobile. You can get to it, but it is trickier. I will post the link as soon as I start the bot here in a sec. So I want to update database. As soon as I run this, I can start the bot back up and we'll have that new table. There we go. Okay. As soon as the bot is back in, the Discord command will work again. So there you go. Alright. So we applied that change. Looks good. We should have the new table, which means we can now link to it on the survivor. Okay, so where are our locations? What's our first location? First location is going to be it's the wasteland, I guess, will be location 1. Safe house will be location 2. I don't know where else we can be. Themmer 4chan, welcome. We are working on some code. It's going pretty well. We're having a little bit of fun. Loot pigeon, an abandoned farm. Ooh, I like it. Abandoned farm. Did we define any others? So we've got a safe house, we have an abandoned farm, and I kind of want to put in like a nuclear fallout shelter. So a fallout shelter. We'll have a fallout shelter. So we'll let you get into a fallout shelter. We'll have a wasteland, safe house, an abandoned farm. Some other places we could go that'd be pretty easy to put in. So we'll stick with that for now. We start out in the wasteland. That'll be the default location. So where is player? No, not player. Survivor. So survivor is the name of of what you are when you're in the game. Survivor needs a location and it needs a default value. which I almost want to just make it 1. Yeah, team list. Dinosaurs, humans, and kangaroos. Razorek, I am a Twitch affiliate. For a while, I was getting a lot of viewers here on the stream, and we managed to get our viewership up close to being able to partner with Twitch, but we do need to get a good number more people here, so feel free to promote, tell your friends about DevChatter and how much you enjoy the coding. So we have a location. When I do that, we should be able to get that link, so that would add Survivor to there. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try doing another migration without stopping the bot, so we'll see if I can. We'll see what happens. Add a migration to that. Let me see. Oh yeah, Razorak, don't worry about it. We have a lot of non-native English speakers. There are plenty of them around the world, and we welcome everyone regardless of how well you speak English. It is the language that we speak here, and I only speak and understand, I would really say 2 languages, but the second one not enough that I would utter it on stream. Certainly don't have the confidence to speak it live on a stream, but nice, Twitchloff. Where do you work? I don't actually know where you work, Twitchloff. Let's see. Location ID is getting added to the survivors table. We're going to create an index on that, on the location ID for that table, so that looks good, and then a foreign key on the survivors table for the location ID column connecting to the location table. That looks perfect. That's exactly what I want to add, which means I'm going to come in here and where's test? Test. Let's discard the 2 test pieces. I hope that's going to work. This may not work. I might have just messed things up. We'll see. Add location ID to survivor table. Oh, that is hilarious. Yep, it messed it up. Okay, that was my goof. Sorry. See, that's empty. That's not what we wanted. So let me go ahead and open this. So the reason why, the way that the migration works is it attempts to use the this file here, this snapshot, is actually how it tries to determine what needs to be added to the database, and this still believes they're in here. So the snapshot, so we need to kill location ID, Okay, so there's the last of that. Now when I go and try this again, now it should get it correctly, and it should work. Let me check out that chat there in a moment. Okay, good. Now add location ID to survivor table got us back what we wanted, so perfect. I goofed there, sorry, that was my bad, everyone. So there's location, so locations, location. There we go. Okay. Oh, update the database. Then I'll run it. Okay. So I will go ahead and kill the bot for a second, everyone. So bot is gonna get restarted here in a moment while I commit. This is adding location table for survivors location. Adding location table for survivor. With survivor foreign key. Adding a location table with survivor foreign key. There wasn't much to that. I did not solve a thing with that commit, but I am still going to commit it like that. Let me see. I know I lost track of chat there for a second. Sorry about that, everybody. You learned English from watching American TV shows. I know a lot of people that did that. I know someone that learned English from watching anime, which is funny when you think about it. It's like, wait, you learned English from a Japanese translation to English. Awesome. You mean 200,000 international IT consultant company, Twitchloft. That is very cool. Very, very cool. 200,000 devs. That's a lot of devs. Zoltralord, welcome, welcome. Greetings. Scuff sounds like TCS, but I think there are even more employees than that. Yeah, there are some consulting firms with devs that are massive. I tried learning programming 50 times, literally, but every time I give up. Razorak, you will want to show up on Thursday. So just so everybody knows, oh, I don't have the bot running, and then I hit one of my buttons. On Thursday, we're going to do our next Learn to Code stream. I haven't started promoting it yet. I'm a little behind on that because of the holidays and everything. But we will be doing our next Learn to Code series episode. So our streams on Thursday start a little bit early normally, and on Thursday we are going to do a Learn to Code in C# episode, which means we're going to do some beginner level programming. I'm going to bring on a guest. He's going to be up in the corner, and I will be teaching him how to code live on stream. But we're going to go to pace and use tooling that everyone can use. So if anyone is interested in learning more about programming, C#, anything like that, that is a great episode to show up to this Thursday. And yes, as Wheatlaw mentions, try learning with someone else. That really is the answer. Get yourself some goals, get yourself a group of people, that kind of thing. It'll really, really help you to learn a lot more. What are you all working on at the moment? Oh, so Crichton, I have actually started working on one of our other projects. I am doing a course for Pluralsight, and I am going to try to do some of the work on that here on the stream if I can. I think that might be stuff you are all interested in, so we'll see how that goes. And the Fozzie Bear, welcome, thanks very much for that follow, greatly appreciated. Oh man, connecting to partner APIs, third-party APIs and that sort of thing is always a challenge. Razorak, you were learning C# and Unity. So C# is used in Unity. One of the weird things that I do know about Unity is the fact that learning C# while learning Unity will not help you learn, it'll help you learn the syntax of C# and how it works, but it won't really help you understand how to build applications in C#. And part of that is because the way the C# almost gets treated like a scripting language inside of Unity from what I've seen of it. So because you don't build the whole thing, you don't scaffold the whole application in Unity, you just kind of react to things. So it's a little weird, but yes, you can learn C# with Unity. Knowing C# obviously will help you do Unity. So if you want to get into game development with Unity, or any other kind of development with Unity, C# is a good gateway for that. Okay, so our bot is running, and we've got this. Did I committed, right? Yes, I committed. Push that. So we now have a location. I want to take a look at that table, so I added data to the locations table right here. On the survivors table, I did not add a default value. So we're gonna put, I'm just gonna really quickly just put everybody at that location. So sorry everybody, you are at location 1 with me. Will I be able to create games with C#? Razorback, yeah, you can create games with C#. If you don't know how to program at all, Unity will probably be a challenging thing to just dive right into, because the challenge is you're learning both game development concepts as well as programming in C# at the same time. So I would learn how to program, even if it's not in C#, a similar style language at minimum before jumping into Unity with it. But one of the big things that I tell people, if you want to learn something, you gotta pick a thing that you enjoy. If there's no other aspect of programming that you enjoy other than game development, then yes, grab Unity, go ahead and learn it that way. Because the important thing is to make sure that you learn, that you stick with it. That's the biggest thing for learning. You can be overwhelmed by starting out with C# and Unity. Yeah, Twitchloft, that definitely could be the case. DBCY, start off with Python and Pong. Yes, so you can start off with a simple language and do some basics. So you could develop a Pong game, or you could make a Snake game, for example. I have thought about making a Snake game, or a Tetris game, or Pong, or one of those simple little things on the stream at some point. So we will probably do that at some point. Is web dev doomed? I don't think web dev is doomed. I don't expect web dev to disappear at all, really. Mobile dev is picking up a lot more than it did before, but there's still a huge market for having the web application, and a lot of people do web dev for you know, the PC and laptop market still, which does exist. The nice thing is you can build a web application that runs on a PC, laptop, a tablet, or a phone, and as long as you just make sure that it scales to the size it needs to be, you only had to build one application. So there's a lot to be said for that, and also keep in mind that a lot of the mobile applications out there talk to a web backend. So if you consider your web API to be web development, then I would say that web dev is not going anywhere. So, yes. Hey, Jen's Duck, welcome back! Yes, ASP.NET is actually fantastic. I'm a big fan of ASP.NET Core. If you haven't taken a look at it, I really, really do recommend it to everybody. ASP.NET Core is fantastic. Okay, so we got that in there. We added a location, so now in the hub, I want to know where you were when you escaped. So, int location ID. Location ID. ASP.NET Core is so great. Almost every site I've seen that runs ASP.NET is slow, not sure why. If it's running ASP.NET web forms like a .aspx, I mean, part of that is just the fact that that's 15-year-old tech. Lord Sushi, welcome, thanks for that follow, greatly appreciated. So you got to remember that one. The other one is that you do not need to take performance into consideration to make ASP.NET web forms run. MVC is a little bit faster than web forms, but still has to load a lot of the old web forms stuff when it's running. So that's part of the reason why it's a little bit slower, but ASP.NET Core is a completely separate stack and is lightweight and fast. DBCY, thank you very much for that follow, greatly appreciated. Yeah, some people prefer PHP and MySQL. There's no wrong answer when it comes to programming. If there's a style, a library, a language that you enjoy or like, go ahead and use it. I'm a big fan of ASP.NET Core. Hey, Katrina, you hatched. Yes, nice. Just maybe. Sorry about that. Oh, that's probably yes maybe, isn't it? I assume that's from a language where it's a softer J sound comes out, be like a Y in English. Love it. And yes, Katrina, you hatched. That's awesome. Congrats on the 6 months. And yeah, there is a lot of information out there if you want to learn programming, anything like that. So, what is the difference between .NET and ASP.NET? .NET framework is just it is a framework for running applications. ASP.NET is a web-specific. It's essentially like a web-specific set of libraries for building things on .NET. ASP.NET is running on .NET. Is the concept there. So ASP.NET Core, for example, is running on .NET Core. So the framework really there is .NET. Oh, I think that's just because Twitch is bad at tracking the numbers there, Razorek. It fluctuates around. So is F#? F# is a .NET language. Which means that when you compile F#, it actually turns into something called intermediate language. And that's the same thing that C# compiles into. So that's why you'll see a lot of things getting created in C# that are more like a functional language. We can add these concepts in because they're already in .NET. They just need to get added to C# then. So that's the cool thing about it. Okay. I was going to do one other thing. I needed to survivor reply in game location ID. So we go over to survivor, and I want to apply end game. If we didn't die. That's what we want. I want to separate this. So, if we survived to get somewhere, we want to go in that location. So we're going to say location. But that's not how we want to do it. Twitchloft, ASP is active server pages, and if you see something just listed as ASP and not ASP.NET, that's referring to what we call classic ASP, and that's actually the ASP that's from the 90s. So if you see it like a .ASP extension on a web page, that is using some really old tech. Razorek, I was previously close to being a Twitch partner. I will actually be a few things short at this point because we missed a few streams. To qualify to be able to apply to be a Twitch partner, you need to average around 75 viewers. And last month we occasionally were over 100 viewers, but it varies. So that's some of the idea. Yeah, it's from the So from the 90s, like, yeah, it's like that doesn't sound that long ago, but it, like, when we're talking about tech, yeah, classic ASP is from the 90s. Yeah. It's not, like, that's not new for tech. Okay, so I want to change this. I want to take in the location instead of a location ID. So we're not going to take in a location. We're taking a location ID. Location equals location. Okay. So this needs to take in a location. Equals location. And feel free to click that follow button if you're enjoying the stream at all. And if you do want to help promote the stream, one of the great ways to do that is to, you know, let other people know. Tweet about it. Tell your friends, invite other people. That does that. I need another thing, so hang on a sec. Back to lurking. Have a good lurk there, Crichton. Lowest PC specs. You don't actually need that great of PC specs in order to run .NET Core. Take a look at VS Code, and actually, now that I think about it, I think setup is talking about how to get set up for our Learn to Code streams. So if you do want to follow along on Thursday, go ahead and install VS Code, .NET Core SDK, and the C# extension in VS Code. And those actually require way less than you'd expect. Nitro73, welcome. Thank you for that follow, much appreciated. Do you have to check for .any? Let me take a look. Yes, Janisku, I agree, Q# is really, really awesome. Where did I check for any? Is it over here? Items.any, add range. What happens if you... I guess if I add none to that, then it's basically the same. So you're right, I might be able to get rid of that. Location. Let me see. Survivor repo. Let's do that. So we're going to add this in. Assign that to a read-only field, and use this down here. We should be able to get a single where it's the ID and location ID. There we go. And I'm going to rename this from that to just repo. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Or on Learn. Welcome. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. Can it run on 64 megabits of VRAM? Resurrect. That's impressive. I'm not sure what the minimum specs are, to be perfectly honest, on VS Code, but I do know that VS Code and .NET Core SDK are very lightweight. So if anything's going to be able to run there, that would be it. There's an extension, Hackathon Online, one where you can get TwitchCon and prices 15K. Very nice, Janisku. I have, so I am planning on learning how to do extensions for Twitch at some point. We don't do them here on the stream yet, but I do want to figure out how to do that and make some. Part of the reason why is I want to add a Twitch extension as part of our stream stuff, the stream tools that we're building. I do want to have some integration with that. I would love to make it so that there was some way that once you get started playing the game, if you could get on-screen controls for movement, that would be really, really cool. Okay, so that'll grab the location where you are, send that in there. And I now want to send this up from the JavaScript. Is it like that? Does it have a beginning quote? Yes, it does. There it is. Okay. So for now, I'm going to pass in the number 1. Not for any other reason than that's the default location where we want to escape to. Let me go ahead and see if we can't get this bot to restart without doing a full restart. Let's see. Teleporting teams to same place. CPU Intel Celeron, 1 core and 1 thread. It's 11-year-old PC. Whoa, 11-year-old PC. That is not new. That is not new. All right, so seems we have to do a full restart on the bot. I will go ahead and do that. So bot has been stopped, and I will go ahead and get that started again. So this might take 2 tries because it depends. If the bot really, really tries to stay alive, we have to wait for it to stop. It hasn't stopped yet. Okay. So previous instance of the bot is still out there and going. There we go. Let's scroll on over here. There we go. Alright, so game seems to be running. I am so dead in this one. Dead. Well, I died, so... Player controls an item shown in the extension. Yeah, Janiscu. Some kind of display to make it so that the game is there instead of, you know, on the stream where we're showing it. I do still want to show the items on the stream, but I might show you your inventory in there even when you're not playing, so you can see what items you're going in with. That would be the kind of thing that we would show in the extension. And then once you're playing, maybe give you on-screen controls for movement. But that would be about it. I gotta figure out how we want to make it so that only the person who's actually playing live gets those controls and not everyone all of a sudden. Yeah, Rezarak. The 11-year-old computer is definitely definitely an old computer at this point. I feel the age of mine, and I'm actually running a 3-year-old computer. But it was a beast of a computer when I got it 3 years ago. I have since even upgraded it, so it's a little bit better than it was when we first got it. Okay, so no matter what, that's where we were. Escape type. So I want to create some kind of object about this. No, Razorak, I don't work at Microsoft. I just work with Microsoft Tech. I have yet to go work at Microsoft. I used to be a Microsoft MVP frequently. They gave me a bunch of MVP awards back in the day, which essentially means you're an independent expert in Microsoft Tech that is a community member. So you're a non-Microsoft employee at that in that instance. I am an ASP Insider, though, which again is actually, that one's an independent group that is closely associated with Microsoft. We actually maintain a Microsoft liaison within our organization. It's a weird group, but we do get to work with the ASP.NET team directly through that organization, so it's quite useful. It's a good way of actually talking with them and them working with us as well. Okay, so we call game end. We need that. So escape type. I don't really want that to be on there. I want that to be... When you escape, we set the escape type. So, escape. Where did I call escape from? I didn't call it from here. Who calls escape? The escape item does. Escape and escape type. Hang on. Built your first computer from the money you earned from freelancing. That's very cool. I was working on a 2 gig RAM PC before using it right now. My PC... There you go. 32 bits, a tough one. No, I don't work at Microsoft. Why do people think I work at Microsoft? I don't work at Microsoft. I am an independent consultant. I do mentoring and training. So I've got various clients that want help learning to do things better, so I work with them. I pair program with them as they work on things. I explain different things. I run workshops for organizations. I look like a Microsoft employee. I mean, I'm sure there's at least one Microsoft employee that looks like me. There are tens of thousands of people that work at Microsoft, so I would not be surprised if there are Microsoft employees that look like me. Escape, mediator, event, process, escape type. So when we do this, we call escape, that escape type. Who created an escape item? New escape item. Who created one? So there's a helipad and a safe house are the escape types. Okay. My name is not Scott. Yes, I'm Bill Gates undercover. How did you know? You were just trolling. That's fine. Scuff, thank you very much for that follow. Greatly appreciated. I'll take that to mean you've been enjoying the stream a little bit. And welcome, everyone. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure that you hit that follow button so you get notified when we go live next. And be sure to check out our Discord. That is a chat application that's commonly used by gamers, Twitch streamers, as well as programmers that work on projects with the community. So if you are interested, check it out. It's a great place to talk to me and the other members here of DevChatter. And you can actually find all our repositories out on GitHub if you're interested in contributing to any of our projects. That is a great place to do it. Okay, so I added escape type here. I hadn't even thought about the fact that that's what we were looking at. The escape type is kind of like the location that we want to have. Helipad, safe house. So I kind of want to do this. Hear me out. So I want to, whoops, wrong location. That's the wrong one. We have two location classes. So it is a name. We're going to give it an escape type. As in, the escape type is what defines which one it is. So I want to make that unique and required. So let's go ahead and go to the game data context. And I am going to add... Can I dot entity? No. Location, escape type is required, and has index. I thought that's how you did that. Am I crazy? Isn't that how you... Has index. Escape type. Ah, okay, right. Has index, and then you say is unique. There we go. I was smoking something there, apparently. And then this one is going to be... Actually, I should have duplicated that. Instead of name, we have escape type. Escape type is required and has an index on it that's unique. Okay, there we go. GitHub. Yes, GitHub. Hey, but I can run Crisis on 10 frames per second. Nice. Hey, nope, definitely don't work at GitHub. Though I do have a Pluralsight course called GitHub for Windows Developers that is all about, using GitHub. So If you are interested in learning more about GitHub, I have a course that I created years ago, still fairly relevant. A lot of people have, even just this past year, commented to me on social media that they really enjoyed my course and learned a lot from it. So if you are interested in learning more about GitHub, feel free to check out my course on GitHub. That's over on Pluralsight. So I want to try adding another migration. And I'm going to call this one add escape type to location table. Add escape type to location. We'll try that and see how it goes. Migrations. Yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully the migration will go quickly. So for anyone that doesn't know, one of the most difficult problems in programming in general, and this is failing because it can't build the bot, but I'm going to go ahead and kill that, and then it will be able to. So one of the biggest challenges in programming is something called database change management. Still is a big challenge. Hey Fleisch, welcome. The concept is that over time your database needs to change, so you in some way need to version your database. We call that database change management. The idea being that you want to make sure that no one's making these changes by hand, that they're recreatable. So if you break something, you can back up, you can migrate forward, backward, and you can also make changes to a dev database and a production database, and you've got nice ways to handle that. That's called database change management. The whole concept is. Now, Entity Framework comes with a concept called migrations, and that is the tool that we're using here that defines the step to go from our current version of our database to the one that we want to get to. So in this case, we want to add a column that is not nullable. Is called escape type. It is on the locations table. Its default value right now is blank, and then it's going to have an index that enforces uniqueness on it. So that's what we are going to do here. Not storing last migration ID to the database. Not storing the last migration ID on the database. We should be storing the last migration ID in the database. You're wondering if you should learn Pascal. You can learn Pascal if you want. Alright, let's go ahead and run this. The database should have the migration number in the table, so we know which version it is. Locations, escape type. Oh, yes, I needed to give it a better default value that was calculable. I should not have added the unique index right away. Derp. Okay, so when we created that, it could not create the table with unique index because we can't add them both at once. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to undo that migration because I don't think it applied it. I think it failed to apply it. Pretty sure. Now I'm going to change our game data context, and I'm going to remove the unique index. So by commenting that out, when I run this migration again, so this is what created the migration in the first place. You eat database change management for breakfast. JavaScript versus HTML. JavaScript and HTML are completely different things. So we're going to add that column. It's got a default value, and that's fine. Let's run this migration first. And sorry, that's right behind me. All it is doing is update database. And this one should work. Okay, so that migration worked. Now I want to make it unique once I set the values for it. So escape type. Wasteland, you get to the wasteland from the helipad. Safe house. Abandoned farm. Maybe you get there by car. And you get in the fallout shelter through the hatch. Helipad, safe house, car, and hatch. So those are the ways that you escape. Now that we have those, I can go back into the data context and add it. Let me commit this change first. We're not going to commit that one. We are not committing that one. We are going to commit that. And these. We're not going to commit that yet, and we are going to commit this. But before I do that, I'm actually going to delete this. Save. There it is. Okay, so this is adding escape type. Add escape type to locations. And 1 second, I see, Andy, I see you have a question for me in the chat. Let me just wrap this up, and then I will get to that. Okay. JavaScript versus HTML. Yeah, so JavaScript is a, I would describe that as a programming language, whereas HTML is, I don't want to diminish HTML. It's not lesser, but it's a different type of language. HTML is a markup language, so it is designed for creating content mostly. It's more like a data language. So in that sense, HTML would be more akin to like XML or JSON or something along those lines, keeping in mind that HTML is a very complicated one. So anyone that does know HTML, I don't want to diminish that. It is actually a very, very powerful thing, and you are awesome for having learned it. But it's very different from JavaScript. Andy, your question. Why would you deal with migrations that are too heavy to be run on a live production server? I mean, at some point, simple column can lock the production database for a long time. So, Andy, there are a lot of complicated ways that we change how we do migrations and those sorts of things for production environments. A lot of this type of thing, the way you set up database change management, depends on your circumstance. For our project, we are not worried about that. We do not have some big production database, so we are going with what is convenient for our development. If, however, I was going to work for a big corporation where they cannot have any downtime on their server, then you do need to handle database change management differently. And a lot of times what that comes down to is, just the circumstances that you're dealing with, because it really depends. Well, what's their infrastructure? So you find ways of doing things that work well for them. So a lot of variance in that. HTML is WebGL. C++ is also WebGL. 2 copies of the database, upgrade, then switch. Exactly, Twitchloft. That is one of the ways to do it. Yep. So assuming that is possible in their environment, that is actually one of my favorite ways. If you are able to do that kind of approach. Oh, sorry. Yep, coins command won't work because the bot is turned off while we do these migrations. Sounds like a strategy. How easy it is to convert it to DB version control. So Andy, as I said, there are a lot of ways of dealing with this. Visual Studio, for example, had database projects for a while. There are tools like what is it called? AliSQL, I think, is another one. Migrations in EF, and there are a lot of other solutions to database change management. So if you search for that, you'll find a lot of things about that. Hey, Razorak, you know HTML? Good. HTML is a good and useful language. I would not call, as I said, I wouldn't call it a programming language because you really don't program much with it. It's more like a content language. It's layout design. It's like knowing XAML, for example, is very, very useful. And knowing a programming language and HTML lets you go far. So now that we've added that back in, I committed, right? I committed the database piece at least, so that's good enough for now. Let's do another quick migration. Unique index on, what did we call it? Escape type? So we're going to add one more migration. RCNE, welcome. Welcome, greetings. An operation with scaffolded that may result in the loss of data. What? Oh, altering the column. Was it nullable before? Because it's gonna create the index. Unique, true. String, escape type, locations, false, type of string. Does that do anything? I'm not sure that's required. And greetings. Make sure everybody, when people show up and say hi, feel free to welcome them to the chat, everyone. We like all our new people here. Yeah, we add in the new index and that's it. Okay. Well, let's give this a try, see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't try to lose our data there. It shouldn't. We don't care about the data. It doesn't really matter. Seemed to work. If we take a look at locations, we still have our data. So, cool. Good. Alrighty. So we'll call that add unique index on escape type. So now, when we call up, we can actually just use the escape type. So I don't need to pass that value anymore. So we're going to use that one that I already set up. Then in the hub, over here, we're going to pull this data differently. So, specifications, class, this is going to be a location specification. There we go. This is a game data policy of type location. We're going to implement the missing members. And we're going to say public static location specification. And we're going to say by escape type. Hang on. What about bash? Is important or interesting? Arsini, you can use bash for a lot of things. I don't use bash here on Windows. I mostly use PowerShell, which does well enough, but yes, you can use bash. It works very well. I used to use bash all the time back when I was a Linux developer, but I am perfectly happy to program on a lot of different platforms with a lot of different languages. That has never really worried me. Let's see. Andy, well, that's my problem with these kinds of migrations that generate simple alter statements. They seem to be suitable only for rather small databases. That is fairly right, Andy. If you're within an organization that is able to take a downtime window, a migration can work very effectively for that kind of thing, because you can just take a little bit of downtime, run your scripts, and as long as they don't, as long as they're not destructive in any way, you can get away with that. One of the approaches that I like is you can do migrations as individual scripts that are committed as well, and there are processes that will run those scripts in order. So you as a developer can be sure that your script is non-destructive. So you can use some migration techniques that work that way. In fact, I recommend that type of approach if you're in one of those environments. But even on that type of direction, you want to make sure, however you're setting it up, that you have both an upgrade and a downgrade path every time for each one of the scripts. And the reason I say that is it is always important to have a rollback. And sometimes your environment can take care of that and you don't need a down path. It just depends on what your system is like. So I'm guessing Orion learned that you are wondering where I am from. I am from the United States, so probably my accent when I speak English gives that away, but It's hard to say. Kanashimi, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Greatly appreciated. Resurrect, sorry, yep, the bot does prevent people from posting links. I don't know what the link is, so I don't know. What do you want to link? Andy, if you are on a big comic system, you might go with the add-only approach, never delete or alter. Yeah, so Twitchloft, that is one of the ways you can do things. Is some systems you can't do that. Now keep in mind that I am working here in this, so I can get away with altering if I like. You're using Heroku. There you go. Sublime QT. Any tips for getting into coding? Yeah, I have a lot of tips for getting into coding, actually. Work on projects you are passionate about, things that you find interesting. Work on a project that you yourself are going to use is one good way to do it, because your own desire to use the software can encourage you to work on it more. If you are interested, we are doing our learn... Oh, my bot's not running. Hang on. Hang on. Escape type. There we go. Okay. By escape type, and then we're gonna say escape type right there, and then I don't need location ID anymore. 1 second, and I will post that link that I was going to as soon as I run this again. I think I didn't skip anything. We're about to find out. I got distracted talking to everyone. I love talking to you guys. It's a lot of fun. Alright, there we go. So the bot is back up and running. So you asked a question about learning to code, and that link there in the chat is one of the other suggestions that I have, which is that on Thursday, I'm going to be doing another episode of my Learn to Code in C# series. So these are for beginner programmers, but if you just are interested in learning C# and are not a beginner programmer, you are welcome to show up as well. And if you know C#, you're welcome to show up and help everyone else learn. Let's see. Tips. Get a degree, read a few books, find a job. You don't necessarily need the degree. It does help. You can actually learn a lot that way. But some kind of formal education will definitely help you getting a job in programming. Reading books about programming can help. Watch courses, read blogs, but a lot of it, you want to just make sure you're writing a lot of code. Do a lot of it when you can. So work on various things. That's part of our series actually, is that we want you to follow along with us while we're writing code. We're just going to do a little bit of together, and it kind of becomes almost that like peer environment where, because everybody else is coding with you, you know, it encourages you to show up and code at that time, so you make time for it. Hey Ed, yes, get a degree, go in debt, spend the next decade paying for that degree. Ed, that is a great description, yes. So yeah, watch DevChatter. You can get a lot of debt going into school to learn how to program, but the nice thing is, Ed's making a nice joke there, but he's not wrong about the pay it off. One of the nice things about programming jobs is they usually pay well enough to pay off that debt. So if you did need to go and get some debt to go to college, it's one of the better ones for that. Obviously, you know, be cautious before taking out loans. Okay, so that, I think, will work. Let me go ahead and try this. Let's give it a shot. Testing time, everyone. And welcome, Anubia1. Thank you very much for that follow. Greatly appreciated. Start a Twitch stream. Number 2, get rich. Great plan there, Ed. Yeah, it's been working out for me, too. That, like, you know, couple of dollars every few streams really pays off. No, Alright, so I want to get a real escape so that we can see what happens when I get an escape. So I'm really going to try to survive this. Okay, there's a house. I should be able to escape into that. Okay, I escaped into a house. That's a safe house. So I should be in the safe house. Let's take a look. I don't know if that worked or not. I didn't see any errors on my end. Whoops, not locations. I want to look at the survivor table. I need to see where I am. Location 2! Yes! Location 2! It worked! I'm in the safe house. There we go, everybody. I made it into the safe house. Awesome. Oh, sweet, Ed. You'll buy me dinner at the next conference? That's awesome. Much appreciated. I don't know what conference we're both going to be at next. I won't be at CodeMash this year. Getting rich by streaming coding. GLH. Exactly, Twishloff. I don't think anybody's going to get rich while streaming coding. I will be. I should be at Stir Trek, Ed. I should be at Stir Trek. Although I might be down closer to you before that, because there's also Momentum and Codepalooza that I could be at. I was at both of those last year. So if anyone is around the country or around the world, really, and you've got conferences that you think me or anyone else should be submitting sessions to, let me know, and I might be in your area. Okay, so we managed to get location changes. That is awesome. Louisville has the best burger. I don't know what burger in Louisville I was supposed to get when I was down there, but I did not get a great burger when I was down in Louisville. I don't think I had a burger when I was down in Louisville. So, apply in-game. Ooh, no, I didn't really want that. Okay, so we pass in location. That should work. And then inside of Survivor, when we receive location, we just set it as long as you didn't die. If you did die, we should have just started you on location 1. I guess if you're in location null, we'd treat you that way. I think this is gonna work. Null does not equal best burger. Yeah, Andy. But I don't know what. I assume there's a location that has really good burgers in Louisville, and I should definitely try that the next time I'm there. Okay, so I will commit this change. Put Survivor in location based on escaped type. There we go. So now we need to be able to start. We need to be able to start in one of those locations, which I don't know if I'm going to get just yet. But the other things we want to do. Hang on a sec. Okay. So where do we want to go from here? So we have location stored. You know what? Let's refine movement. I want to make movement a little bit better. So wasteful move command. So those are valid single directions. So we set the move number equal to that. Well, actually, you know what? Hang on. Oh, do we allow them to say R, L, U, and D instead of those? I think we do. There you go, Twitchloff. So apparently everybody's just going to buy me dinner if I go to conferences now. That's nice. I won't complain. It's hard to complain about that. All right, we'll allow it. So left, right, up, down. Left, right, up, and down. Those are also valid directions, we'll say. So those will be able to get sent. And then inside of this, when we receive a move command, we get a direction. Inside the movable component. So I want to open up the movable component file. Now the nice thing is all movement, Andy, yeah, see, I knew someone was going to ask about arrows and other things like that. I'm not planning on it. So inside the move command, we get a direction. Up, D down, R right, hang on, I want to go to that. I'm going to steal this for the JS doc comment here. Yeah, exactly, Andy. So those will be the options. Actually, within these, let me within the selection, change all of those into these. There we go. Actually, maybe we'll just do that. Okay, there we go. Left, right, up, down, L, R, U, D. Okay, cool. Left, left, up, up, down, down, right, right. Okay, cool. Good enough. So now I think you should be able to pass in those as commands once we restart this, obviously. So let's try that. Oh, come on. We're waiting on the bot to actually die from the previous time. Once it's actually gone, then our app can start. There it goes. Alright, so got this running. Let's go ahead and start it up again. Now, even though I left in a place and not here, this still brings me here. Bonus idea, Twitch overlay widget that allows clicking instead of typing. Yes, Andy, we were talking about that earlier today. Adding in an extension on Twitch so that everyone else can click arrows instead of typing. So that is one of the ideas. And escaped on the helipad. Whoops. Hang on, we got a problem. We have a problem. Okay, hang on. So we get direction R. That's just going to get us component. Hang on. Now we want to do move direction R. This didn't refresh. Did I not? Hang on. Maybe I did. Okay.
Developers.
Hey, Gareth and friends, welcome. Get situated. We are having a little bit of fun right here. Turns out I needed to do a full refresh, and now it should be working. So let's go ahead and start this up again. Welcome, everyone. Let me spam a little bit of hype there. Greetings, Gareth and friends. Glad that you're all here. So let's go ahead and start up the game. It's down here. Let's go ahead and do move you. There we go. It's working now. Okay, cool. So it just hadn't refreshed. Either way, that seems to work now. This is where I die, right here. Thanks, Andy. That left movement there really gets you. Okay, so that's that movement works, and we can definitely use single letters now, so it's a little bit shorter to move the character around. I'm probably not going to do the arrow approach. I think left, right, up, and down works for that, for now. We'll want to pull that out so it can be customized. Obviously, it's not customizable yet. Okay. Allow... as move operands. Okay, there we go. Anarchy, democracy. No. This is not Twitch Plays Pokemon. But the hilarity being, Crimson, that you're right. We could flip modes of gameplay like what Twitch Plays Pokemon did. Left, right, can be. Oh, Andy. So we can actually do that. We can actually alias that way. We don't need to build a thing for that. Our alias system. So those are the instructions. That's the help text for our aliasing. We can alias any command we want to be another command, including parameters. So, for example, when you see me do the hype command, which does this, by the way, on our screen overlay, on that, right? That is actually doing this. And there goes a derp. I'll wait for that to finish. But it's actually doing this. So if you see that does a blast hype. So the hype command doesn't really exist. There's actually only the blast command. And hype is just an alias to calling the blast command with the hype parameter. So our aliases are actually very advanced for what we can do. So we could make left just be move left. We could even create like M left, for example. The bot chose rock. Wait, I didn't choose rock? Oh, wait, maybe I did choose rock. Yes, exactly, Andy. So we can take in the parameter and an argument. Oh, and apparently we're playing Hangman now. Let's see. Nope. Nope. We're in trouble. Oh, I know the word. That's an evil one. The word was C++. Oh, that was evil. The good old param versus argument. How many seniors know the difference between those two? Yeah, parameters define what you can take. An argument is the value that you actually passed in. Sorry, Twitchloff. Yeah, typing on a phone is much slower. Oh yeah, so yeah, you pass in an argument to a parameter, but it's to be honest though, like while we do know the distinction, if someone uses them, you can practically use them interchangeably. Exactly. Andy, yeah, at the end of the day, the point is, if you say parameter and you meant argument, or you say argument and you meant parameter, I usually know what you meant anyway, so it doesn't really matter. As long as we can still communicate, that's really what matters. Okay, so that works. So we allow left, right, up, and down to be passed in that way. Let me go to the team command real fast. Leave, join, list. When we list, let's get the team rank command. Alright, here we go. Big stuff. Yeah, sorry about that, Andy. The Hangman game eats up a lot of chat, so hence it's got a 10-minute cooldown, so that we don't end up, just spamming chat with all that. New list of strings. Let's see, rank. Top would be another way of describing it, so I want to see the top teams. This is going to be rank. Let's allow ranks as well, just in case someone can't remember if it's singular or plural. And actually, let's allow, like... Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so... those are the operand words that we accept, and then we just need to define the try to execute, and this is going to need these values, so let's go ahead and add that, and that's the correct name for the constructor. So, interesting thing that I actually want to tell you guys about, everyone here, about C#. There's an interesting thing that you may not have ever thought about for how the constructor actually works in C# as well as a lot of other languages. there's actually a neat little thing that's going on. If you look at the signature of a method, right? Just a regular method. Here, we'll use this try to execute as an example. Down here, you'll see that there's public override string, and then that. Now, obviously, override is not on everything. So, for example, we could do a public string get name, right? And that's a method with a name. It has public as its access modifier. String is the type of value it returns, and then it has a name. Now, if we were to remove the name of it, this looks like the constructor of the string class. So that's one of the neat things that a lot of people don't realize is the constructor of a class is basically, in C# is just an unnamed method of the type of the class. And essentially the idea is the method with no name, that's the constructor. So that's actually kind of the neat thing, because it feels to us that this is the name, because out of tradition, we don't have this space here. Now, obviously, the language allows me to put that space there without any problem, because it doesn't care. But if you wrote it like this, you'd see, oh, that's an unnamed method, which is kind of a neat thing when you think about it. Constructors are special in languages, but that's kind of how it is. So I really like that concept. Ikojan, or Koyan, or something along those lines. Welcome, thank you very much for following. If I just butchered your name, please let me know and tell me how I can say it better, and greatly appreciated. Welcome, everyone. A couple of things I want to mention while we are coding today. If you're interested in chatting with me or any of the other people here in the channel, one of the best ways to talk with us is to join our Discord, linked over there in the chat. If you want to contribute to any of our projects, you can find all the code we do here on the stream over on GitHub at github.com/devchatter. Feel free to take a look, and we look forward to your contributions. Okay, so we want to try to execute this. I want to do pretty much the same kind of thing that I did in my list teams command, except I want to do it a little differently. Same basic concept, do it a little differently. So we're going to grab the teams, but I want some extra information. So I don't just want to grab the names. I want to get the data about them. So let's do this. So that is our teams. We need to get the players, teams. Oops, hang on. Teams dot. I want to see what's on these. I'm just gonna grab the first one. We have members. And what's on our member objects? We have display name, game end records, and money. Maybe we'll just make amount of money right now be the deciding thing for rank. We'll say the wealthiest teams are. We will make this some kind of points or something like that based. But I don't know if I want to do it as like the average for your team, which maybe we would do that. I don't know. So let's grab the money off of the teams. So we need the team name, but we don't just want the team name. So we don't need the ID. We want to see team name. And we'll say... Hang on. Before I do that, I want to make my select something else. Can I pull this out as a method? Statement to anonymous method to local function. That'll work. Selector, that's a terrible name. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call this, so not selector, but foo for now, which is a good indication to us that we need to change its name. And I see some stuff in chat, everyone. I will get to that in a second. I just want to finish up what I'm doing here. To statement body, there we go. So foo, we take in the team and we grab name. I want to get this value as well, so I'm going to say team, team dot members sum member dot money, sum of the money of all the members. Team money total. So there we go. Team name, team money total. And we'll say create team display. Create team display. That's not the worst. We can talk about that in a second. What is going on? Oh man. Hang on a second. Twitchlove, you've been playing with the thought of giving some one-on-one remote mentoring and C# stuff just an hour now and again. Wonder if anyone would be interested. For me, it could be an easy start to doing larger workshops or streaming. Good luck with that, Twitchlove. That is the same stuff I do. Can you make me five times better than Brendan? Is join.net information? That's great. Oh, JSON.net. Yeah, that's very cool. James Newton King is something like function expression. Andy, foo is just a placeholder word. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you can't type JSON.net. So yep, we have a shop. Zoltralord, you wanna do shop by 3, like that. So that's how I buy a sword before I go adventuring. Yeah, this is a local function that I'm using here. So that's actually what this is. There's no need for this to be a local function. In fact, I'm not going to leave it as a local function. That's just the way it extracted. I'm actually going to make it private. Because it doesn't need to be a local function, and I think that will confuse people a little bit more, so I'm going to make that a little bit better. Yeah, so Zoltralord, if you want to get money to be able to buy equipment, go down into the Wasteland and start up a game. And that is a great way to do it. So that should display the teams. I want to order based on the total money value, though. So, create team display. We wanna order based on that. So that is not correct. We don't want to do it this way. We want to do it differently. So let me do this. Teams. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say select a new object. Whoops. So T, new, anonymous object. And this is going to be T.name. And then the second one is going to be total equals T.members sum of the money of the members gets you the total. T. Whoops, actually this is now a new thing. That's not a team. X and then X dot total. And before we do that, we want to say order by descending the X dot total. Instead of being an enumerable, this is the team stats, which we're going to do like this. We're going to put that in there, and then I'm going to cut this and put it in there. And we no longer need that private method. So now we can run this, and we're going to say sum that, order it by that, and then that's how that's going to work. So we're going to take the teams, select out the data we want, order it by what we want, and then turn it into a string. Okay, there we go. What is going on? JSON is now more powerful than user. Oh, yeah, sorry, Zultralord. You probably did actually start up a game, but I don't have the overlay turned on. Andy, I'm not going to write a query for that. That worked fine. But yes, you're right. We could have queried this one instead of doing the dot notation. But I think more people know the dot notation using the extension methods than recognize the query syntax in C#. But I could be wrong about that. That is just my guess on what the community knows better. So I want to make rank be an operand of the team command. So I'm going to go ahead and restart the bot. So we're going to kill it really fast. And Zultralord, that'll mean that that'll reset. So if you want to be the one that plays the game, Zultra, then we can go ahead and put it in there, and you can potentially earn some money playing the game. I need to increase the money amount or make the items in the shop cheaper, one or the other. Haven't decided which, though. Alright, that should be long enough for the bot to have fully shut down. V12, Gabe. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing is much easier than it looks at times. Not that I want to diminish this, because programming is a challenging and worthwhile endeavor to learn if you are interested. I don't know what your background is with programming. I have been programming for over 20 years now, so I've got a good amount of experience with programming in various different languages. Currently I do a lot of C#, and I do enjoy it. Whoops, team list, team rank. Wealthiest teams are the dinosaurs, yeah! Because the humans and the kangaroos don't have money. And Janisku, you code in C# and Q#. Yeah, so right now I do a lot of C# and JavaScript. That's actually what we're doing here on the stream today. Zultra, if you're there, you should be able to start up a game now, although I really should put that on the overlay for people to actually be able to play while we're streaming things. There we go. So the game is up and running, as it should be. So there's the game running in the stream, right over there. So that is actually on the stream. That's not in a browser window or anything like that. You can see the browser windows over here. So let's say move up, move right. Let's say 2. I don't know which way I want to go. I kind of want to trick this guy. Move right. So you can see I can do all the movement like that. I'm actually going to move this into our game room so I don't flood the chat quite so much with all that. Move down, and then I'm able to escape. So if I move right 9, you'll see the character is going to run over there. And I can escape again. Move right, oh whoops, move R2. Oh, I died. Oh, I died, because, yeah. Huh. That's silly. Bummer. I died. I don't know why it reported back twice. Shouldn't have reported back twice. Huh. Well, you don't want to die while holding weapons in this game, because then those are just wasted. I could have maybe escaped with those. Anyway, let's see. What did people say? Jadisku, you think you can do ML, algorithms, websites, clients, and build robots with those two? There are a lot of things you can do with C#. Q# as well. There are a lot of programming languages that you can do a lot of things with. I tend to like languages that are multi-purpose. You can do many things with them. I'm not a fan of the more, like, I mean, I'll use them for their specialization, but I'm less of a fan of a specialized language because of the fact that they are so limited in their use. So the effort it takes in learning and getting good with any specific language, the greater amount of stuff that you can do with it, the better. So, for example, if you want to, like, I think every developer should know, if you're going to be a professional developer, you should know a C#, Java, that kind of language, like, you know, where it's like, yeah, this can be used in a lot of places for a lot of different types of applications. I think you should know one of those. I think you should be familiar, and this obviously is over time you want to develop these skills. I think there's a lot of value in learning other languages as well. Obviously, languages aren't the focus of programming. A lot of the concepts are there as well. So, whatever language you want to use, awesome, good. Okay, so that works. Will the code you recently wrote translate to the DB query? Andy, which code? I was, did I write something that what do you mean, will it translate to the, oh, the link I wrote. Oh, you mean in this. You're wondering if this code right here will be part of a query, and the answer to that is no. And the reason why is I actually already pulled the data at this point. So at the moment where we run this, we have already pulled all this data from the database. So we already have the teams, we already have the team members, the survivors that are on the team, and we already have the money column for each one. So keep in mind that we did need to pull all this, like we didn't really need to pull all the data, but we did this calculation in memory, not in the database. So yes, thank you for that clarification, Andy. We can write it so that we can translate queries down into the database like that, to be able to pull that kind of data, but that's not how we have it set up here. Obviously, if we want to write one of those, we would encapsulate that and put it somewhere else. The number of survivors that we're talking about pulling out of the database in order to get this is not that great, so I'm not worried about it right now. Obviously, if we scale this up to run for, you know, a server that has like thousands of users, up to, you know, hundreds of thousands of users, something like that, we're definitely going to want to get that in the database, but right now we're dealing with 20. So it's not worth the extra effort, if that makes sense. And V12 Gabe, thank you very much for that follow. Greatly appreciated. I will take that to mean you are enjoying the stream. Okay, so let me go ahead and get these committed. Adding team ranks. Adding a rank operation to see team ranks. Okay. Obviously, I could join another team. Failed to join team. I forget, maybe I have a restriction that you can't join teams once you're in one or something like that. You cannot leave teams yet. Please wait for this feature. Alright, let me see what the deal is. Why can't I leave my team? I need to not be on a team. Hey, S&B, welcome. Greetings. Yes, Twitchloff, I'm a big fan of Dapper. Dapper is the ORM that I actually like the most. We didn't use it here for this project because I wanted to use Entity Framework Core. So let me add leaving a team. You cannot leave team yet. Please wait for this feature. Okay, so we're gonna save that. We're gonna use this repo to get who you... so we already have your survivor, don't we? Yeah, we have your survivor. So we know who you are. So we're gonna say survivor.team. We're gonna keep that as the team. Because I want to save that information, because we're gonna have you leave the team. So then I want to say... if survivor dot leave team return you left the something team. Drop a $sign over there so I can do string interpolation, and we're gonna say team.name. Whoops. There we go. And then if you didn't, failed to leave the team. I don't know why you would, but I'm gonna have that there just in case. I want to say if team equals null. So if you don't have a team, then I want to say return you are not currently on a team. Let me see. Dapper of T-Rex. You can connect to the other ones easy. Twitchloff and Jadescu, yeah. There are a lot of I don't think Twitchloff meant weird as in a as an insult in any way. I think he just means unique things, interesting. to say the least. You're not currently on a team. You left the blank team and failed to leave the team. Which actually, since I'm returning all these, I don't need the ifs. And I don't need that else either. Let's go ahead and try to leave the team. If team equals null, return false. Team equals null. Well, actually, do I care? Maybe I don't. I don't know. Oh, that's actually, team equals null, return true. There we go. Adamaz123, welcome. Thank you very much for that follow. Greatly appreciated. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Please feel free to say hello, everyone. So we'll do that. That's a reasonable leave. And I'm going to go ahead and restart this. Hey, that welcome got in for you just in time. Andy, yes, update does check for the model dirtiness and will only update the values that did. That is correct. Sebastian. Yeah, I actually worked with him a number of years ago on Orchard. I was working for a company that was doing some internal projects for Microsoft. And so we were building them in Orchard, because obviously Microsoft wanted to build stuff in Orchard back then. Okay, so we got that running. Let's see, team list, team leave, team join, team leave, team join 2, team rank. Andy, you're not currently on a team. So be very careful, everyone. And the reason I say this is because you do get charged to join and leave a team. Is it not pulling all the data? We might not be pulling all the survivors. That might be the problem. So hang on a second. Let me take a look. Does anybody else have money? There are some other people with money. Dinosaurs should have some money because we should have pulled all of their... because these guys are all dinosaurs. Janisku, you may already be on a team. Janisku. Oh, Janisku doesn't have enough money. That's why Janisku couldn't join the team. We could alter that though. Janisku, here, have 100 gold because I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna do one quick thing for everyone. I'm gonna make one change to how we do things. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Survivor, we're gonna set default money to 100. So there we go. When you start up, you're gonna have money. Yes, that is yes, Ed. That is how Bitcoin works. You set money equal to 100. Yes, that is Bitcoin right there. Andy, you should have some coins now. But what I'm wondering about is this one. Why didn't the dinosaurs have money? It's like it's only counting me. So I want to find out what the deal is. And the way I'm going to do that is by debugging real fast. I want to take a look and see why we did that. So Hey, sorry, restarting the bot right now, everybody. So, team joining won't work right now. Alright, so this is running. Team rank. What's the deal? What did we bork in here? Team stats. Came back with... Yep, 0 and 0 for those. Okay. So, teams. We have 3 teams. This should be the dinosaurs. No members. Oh, okay, so I think I know the problem. We did not... Okay, here's the issue. I didn't give a specification. I don't know how we were getting data before. We do team policy. All. You take a look at our team policy. Ooh, we don't do it. Okay. So, I want to add an include. And... This is gonna be a fun one. Add team include. Oh, actually, no. I can get away with it like this. Team members. There we go. So when you grab a team, grab the members as well, please. Okay. Yeah, basically. Yep. That's the idea, Andy. We just need to tell it, hey, when you get these, go ahead and pull that data as well. Which we can write custom ways that we want it to do that, but that's what we're going to do for now. Let me refresh. And team rank. There we go. Still not quite right. Dinosaurs should have money. Dinosaurs should have money. So I'm thinking it didn't fully restart, so we're going to do this. Hang on. Yep, hang on, Janisku. I'm restarting the bot. Yeah, I'm assuming you're on a delay, so you don't realize that I've already restarted things. There we go. And I apologize if you guys can start to hear that outside. They are... Hey, Gareth, thanks very much for the 3-month resub. No big deal, appreciate the raid. Hopefully your stream was good today. And 3 months means you just hatched out of your egg. Congratulations, Gareth. He won Hutball. That's right. He is a member of the Frog Dogs. So let's see. We're going to do team rank again. So I'm going to call into here. Step one further. Teams. Teams should have members. Oh, no members of the dinosaurs. What? Hey, we should have members of the dinosaurs. Hang on. One member of this one. That's weird. Hang on. Survivors, view data. I'm on rank 2. These guys are on rank. These guys are on Team ID 1. That's definitely still Team ID 1. Team ID 1. Oh, son of a gun! I just realized what's going on. Team policy all isn't what I think it is. I lied to you. That doesn't work. Because we need to know the type of the calling, the type we called it on. It doesn't work that way. I can't do it that way. Hang on. Not where... It's going to be where team. Can't use the base. Deny specification of team. Mac Attack, welcome. Thank you for following. Greatly appreciated. This is a team policy, not a game data of T policy. And I should have done a quick find and replace on that. There is no base expression to pass in. What did it do in that? It sets the criteria equal to the expression. So we are just going to do that. Same thing right there. Going to tell it to include the members. So new policy X true. X includes. We want to set it equal to the same basic collection that it is, so we're going to put one of those in there. And then the strings, we need to do the same thing. That is how we prevent our null reference exception, is we make sure we set these to some default values, and that'll prevent the null reference exception. And that's not a T, that's a team. And add include is going to do that. It's the only one I'm using. We're going to do that. That is not ideal. There's a trick I need to come up with that I have not added to this code yet that should allow us to do this, but I haven't set it up yet. I might... What happens if I define this? Let me try something. Actually, this is going to return a team policy. No, it's going to return a team policy. Okay, so I'm going to override the static that's on the base class here and see if that works. I think it will. I'm going to drop that there, but just in case, I'm going to drop a breakpoint in this one as well. So we're going to see which one gets called. I'm going to go ahead and debug this, and we'll find out what happens. Team policy, nice. Perfect. It's the one we wanted to see. Hey, there it is. So the data's actually there. So that worked that time. So that's what we needed to change. I can remove that redundant argument now. We can now say team policy all. So because we did this, I overrode the other one's all, so I didn't use this one's all, which actually kind of makes me want to get rid of these. Because of the way that we declare our includes, I might get rid of these. Just make it so no one's using them. don't have a shop item policy. I'd have to write one if I wanted to do that, so that one's using, now it's getting called by team policy and shop item. So if I wrote a shop item policy, I could get rid of these entirely, and then I wouldn't need that, and the team policy could just override. So let's get rid of these. I'm gonna get rid of those. Goodbye, they're gone. We're going to fix the other spots that we're calling them. So shop item is going to get a shop item policy. It's no longer new. Shop item policy. Shop item doesn't need any special includes. Base expression shop item, and then this returns back shop item policy of all, and then the other one it needs is this one. That needs that one as well. And I see people saying stuff in chat. Give me 1 second to get back to you. Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, Andy, that's a reasonable way of describing it. Essentially, so the policies are a way of, so the policy is so policy in this case means a class that will give us back our specification. The specification is a way of specifying the set of data that we want. So the idea is it's a piece of filtering logic that we can use in LINQ, as well as, because we left it as an expression, it can get used in things like Entity Framework. We could also use it in a variety of different caching scenarios. So the concept with it is that it is encapsulated logic for specifying the type of data we want. Yeah, exactly, Andy. The specification is sort of a way of defining, the parameters of a set of data that we want. So, we want to get it with this and these types of things. So, we can then use that as an expression when we are calling in an EF, or, for example, calling into a cache of data as well. So, that's the concept there. So this was trying to do game data policy, so we wanted to use a shop item policy now, which we'll move that to its own file. And inside the shop command, instead of that, we're going to call that error list. This was looking for a by ID, which instead we're going to call it like that. Whoops, bot's still running, so it's going to fail to build there. I'm going to go ahead and exactly, Andy. So if I have an in-memory collection, I can actually use those same filters on any in-memory collection. So say that I have, let's say that I've already pulled out the member list from the database and I have it in memory at that time. I can use so let's say I have all the members of a team. I can apply a survivor specification to that in-memory collection of survivors and just straight up use it. And I don't need to go to the database a second time in order to reuse that logic. So if you have put your logic for filtering on your repository, you cannot use that logic except when accessing your data store. Now so this is effectively our way of separating out the way of specifying which data you want from your repository or your cache or wherever kind of access you're trying to make. So that's kind of the idea. We have encapsulated it so we have something who knows about specifying data. That's the idea. All right, let's go ahead and run this again. And when it runs this time, we are going to attempt to use a couple of those pieces. So first off, let's check the shop. We're going to try to buy a sword. So it works. Then I want to say team list. And that seems to work. And team rank seems to work as well. Team join 3. Team rank. Now the kangaroos are the top team. Whoops. Team leave. Team join 1. There we go. Yeah, no problem, Andy. Glad to be of assistance. Yeah, we decided pretty early on to use the specification pattern because we thought it would be an interesting thing to be able to explain to people. So one of the reasons we are here is obviously have fun programming, do some interesting stuff, hang out, discuss. Some of it is obviously educational. I want to help people learn and think about coding in different ways. So we do try to do some interesting stuff when we can here. So that is part of the idea. Do some interesting stuff every once in a while. Show some people what they can do. So I don't want to commit that one yet, or this one, or that one, or that one, or that yet. The leave team operation I will commit first. So allow survivors to leave a team right there. Change game data policy, so each policy makes own filters. We'll call it. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so each policy is for a specific model in this case. So we can use specifications that access some of the other data. That's part of the reason for having the include. So if you do need to check the values of, say you're doing an aggregate, you're following domain-driven design, you can use this for that. Essentially what you need to do is make sure that you have included the type, and then you can use it, is kind of the idea. And you need to make sure, however you set up your data access, however your repository works, it needs to understand how these specifications work. So our repository is designed to work with these specifications, is essentially the way we have that set up. And basically all it does is take this specification and just directly apply it, is kind of the idea. So that builds that. Okay, so let's see. A couple of things I want to mention. if you haven't checked out our Discord yet, you really should. It's great. We have chatting with me and the other viewers here on DevChatter. You can find all our source code out on GitHub at github.com/devchatter. And if you want to see any of our videos from previous streams, you can find those here on Twitch in the videos section, or I maintain an archive of those videos out on YouTube at youtube.com/c/devchatter. Feel free to follow me on Twitter or anything like that as well. The stream on Thursday is going to be an interesting one. We are going to be doing our next Learn to Code in C# episode. I need to schedule the event actually on that link, so right now you won't have the event on there. So if you follow that link, it's going to take you over here, and you are going to see our past episodes. And you, for example, could go watch the video from our Learn to Code in C# episode from November 1st. Which actually, wow, that was 3 weeks ago at this point. We are going to do another one, and it's going to be on. Actually, it's gonna be, that's not 3 weeks ago. That's going to be 4 weeks ago. So we're going to do another one of these on Thursday. So I will be inviting Mr. Bubs TV back onto the stream, and I'm going to continue teaching some C#. So if you or anyone you know is interested in learning how to program in C#, be sure to get them this link. You can find that in the chat. And I will post it again just to be sure that you got it. So as I said, we'll be doing that. You can actually get reminders of just this, or you can follow the stream for more information. Our streams on Thursdays start 2 hours earlier than they do today, so that's almost 5 hours before whatever time it is now. So to convert into your time zone, if you don't know our schedule, one of the best ways to do that is to go ahead and type in schedule using the schedule command, and say where you are, roughly speaking, just something else in the same time zone you are, and the bot will let you know when our streams are, so you can see there's the time zone that I am in. I am not in Miami, but their weather's probably a little bit nicer right now. So as it says, normally here on the stream, our Thursdays, we start at noon on Eastern time, so if you live in the eastern part of the United States, or in the same time zone as the eastern part of the United States, then you get that. Yep, so 5 p.m. GMT is when we start our stream on Thursday. So if you want to learn about C# or want to maybe help other people with that, you might, you can try countries as well. You don't have to do cities, so you could do like, yeah, exactly, as Specimen says, like you can pick a country, so if it doesn't know where Ostrov is, for example, you can try something else. We don't have a time zone for the moon in the data set, but go ahead and try, and we can get in some reasonable guesses on that. Yeah, Specimen. It's so hard to say. Like, I like Specimen, but that name is tricky. Okay, so other stuff. What did I want to talk about? Yeah, so that's the plan. So be sure to tell anyone you know that is expressed any interest in learning to code, or if you are that someone that is interested in learning to code, be here on Thursday for that stream. It should be fun. Mr. Bubs is a lot of fun as well. He's another streamer. He does a lot of gaming streams, so we actually dual stream these, so he will actually be up in the corner. We're probably just going to put his picture, because the two of us do not have the tech set up to be able to split the webcam, so you'll only be able to see each of us on our own stream. And we'll be watching his code. We're going to use VS Live Share so that you can see the code on both of our screens at the same time, so we can actually watch as we're coding. And essentially, I'm just going to walk through some basic stuff. So, should be good. Either way, loved having all of you here today. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. As I said, be sure to join our Discord if you haven't yet. And if you are interested in contributing to any of our projects, I really do recommend you check out our GitHub. There's some instructions, some help for how to set things up, and that sort of thing. In the coming streams, I am going to be doing some of our old projects, so we're going to work on our game tracker again coming up here soon. I want to use that as a demo application for some of the other stuff I'm doing, so I am going to try and get that to the state that it is done. We have been using Vue.js in order to do the front-end work on that, and other than that is an ASP.NET MVC core website. So we're going to be using some API controllers, things like that, so that we can get data for our Vue. And we're also using Razor pages for the main page. So The page will load up in Razor, and then we'll use Vue.js calling into our ASP.NET controllers to get data. So should be an interesting solution for that, and we'll see how it goes. So yep, Andy, that's the idea. I loved having everybody here. It was a great stream today. Thank you all for making it fun. I will see you Thursday. So that is not 48 hours from now, because we're going to be about 5 hours before this. So that's like 43 hours from now. Take care, everyone. Happy coding. Enjoy your week. Hopefully it's a good start to it, and we'll see you next time.